before life insurance ever became a part of my world, nobody talked to me about it. Like growing up, life insurance just wasn't a conversation. Nobody explained it. Nobody talked about legacy or wealth or even the cost of a funeral. Like somebody passed away, people started cooking, you went to the funeral. I was a kid, so, no one's talking to the kids about that adult stuff. So in my mind, life insurance was just for death. So fast forward to adulthood, and I feel like I'm feeling good. I'm covered, have a job, pension, benefits, and even life insurance options during open enrollment. Y'all know, like the one time your salary. So I would always do like 6 times my salary, something like that, even more, because it was still so cheap. So I checked the box and kept it moving. At the same time, if y'all know me, I've always been ambitious. I've tried to sell just about everything under the sun. I was always looking for something that could really help me build wealth for my family. But over time, that did just get frustrating. Not because I wasn't willing to work, but because nothing really fit. It either felt forced or gimmicky, just disconnected from who I was, who I am. Some things were cool, but just not kind of vibing with me the entire time. And honestly, the belief that life insurance was only about death definitely kept me from taking it seriously as a wealth building tool. Nobody really wants to talk about death all the time, right? And make money. Like that don't even sound sexy, not for real. But my mindset shifted when a friend asked me to jump on a opportunity call. So I jumped on the call. I want to support them because they support me. And so I'm on it. And I learned that the person is selling life insurance. At first I was like, nah, that ain't for me. But then, the math starts mathing. I started asking questions. Y'all probably been on some of these calls and they get to sounding real good. But what really stuck with me wasn't even the money. It was the idea that life insurance actually does matter, that it does protect families. It does create stability. So that kind of made me feel like, okay. But over time, the process I was shown just didn't feel right, felt a lot of pressure. That's just not how I wanted to do business. And so I decided, I was done. So I literally called up the company, waiting on hold, ready to cancel everything. And then I hear the Holy Spirit say, sell insurance. I can't make this up, y'all. I was shook. So I hung up the phone, trying to process this moment. And so for the rest of the weekend, like while me and my husband were out, just different places, I just saw insurance everywhere. Like it really is woven into our fabric of our society. So my eyes were open. And so I realized that the issue wasn't really insurance, it was the way I was being introduced to it. So that was really what I was pushing against. So from there, I became a student. And again, anybody who knows me, y'all know I've been in school for 1,000 years, right? Like even working on my doctorate right now. So I started researching, watching videos, learning the difference between term and whole life and IULs, and trying to understand why some people love permanent policies and others kind of fear them, wanting to know the psychology behind that. Then came another moment that changed everything. Because I'm reading and stuff now, what I'm saying? I'm a scholar. So I'm on the phone with a potential client and she hits me with how much money can I dump in my policy? And I was a little, kind of taken back because I know what she's talking about. I was doing it because I thought IULs were permanent and cheap. So that right then kind of let me know I really didn't know what I thought I knew. And that too, really, I just kind of started to scratch the surface. But I hadn't been shown yet how life insurance could actually be used as a wealth strategy. But clearly, this client knew something that I didn't know. So, of course, I started continuing my research. Came to understand it's about accumulation and access and control. And eventually, I was connected with the right mentor. No hype, no pressure, just wisdom and structure. Y'all, I used to be a language arts teacher. I don't need the fluff. Give me the meat. It need to come together. So with this mentor that I have, that's exactly what took place. And it really mattered over time when I applied for my own life insurance and then I got declined. Woo, boy, that'll knock you out. You're like, okay, you excited, you finally feel like you're in the right place, and now you get a decline. Health challenges, my numbers were off. So those delays really did kind of make me a little afraid. But I didn't quit though, because I had the right mentor in place and we fought for my yes and actually got it. So was just so excited. And so now my husband and I both have policies that build cash value, something we control. And after experiencing financial highs and lows, like we know what it feels like to make a lot of money and to lose a lot of money. So having a safe place to put your money, definitely something that just made sense for us. And kind of knowing that life insurance isn't about dying. It's about living with options. It's about protecting what you're building. And again, if you haven't built anything from scratch, boy, and if you have, that thing gets scary when something comes to kind of shake that foundation. So this is a big deal. So when I talk about life insurance now, I'm not just talking theory, I'm talking lived experiences. Okay. I got some stories to tell. And if you're someone who has a job, a pension, benefits, or just know something is still missing, this is your sign to learn more. Okay. You're seeing this for a reason. So if you're curious about how life insurance can support both protection and wealth, send me a message. Put the word legacy in the comments or DM me, and I'll walk you through this process. No pressure, no fluff, just clarity.